Hello everyone. Very good morning, dear friends. We have been doing the poem written by William Shakespeare. The title of the poem is Not Marble Nor Gilded Monuments. Half of this poem we have already done yesterday. Now we have the remaining 6 lines of this poem that we have to analyze and explain. What we saw in this poem is that the poet sees that his young friend, who is a soldier, can only be immortalized through the poems or through the poetry. He compares with the statues and monuments which are erected by the kings and emperors for their memory, for their works, for their immortality, are useless. The poet means to say that these all things are perishable. They are to decay one day. They are the cause of time. So, the time, which is very powerful, destroys all these things. Therefore, he says that his friend, who is mentioned in these lines, in this poetry, will be remembered forever than those warriors, princes, emperors, and kings who have erected, who have made so many monuments and other stones with marble and golden covered. So, therefore, here the poet is trying to show the immortality of the poetry. So, poetry is immortal, and once someone is mentioned in the poetry, will be remembered by generation after generations. So, this is the theme, this is the gist, this is the central idea of this poem that we have done. Now, let's go with other lines, other remaining lines of this poem. That is the stanza or the quatrain 3. Against death and all oblivious enmity shall you pace forth, your praise shall still find room, even in the eyes of all posterity that wear this world out to the ending doom. So let's see some of the difficult words and their meanings so that you can understand these lines well. Against, you know very well, against oblivious enmity. So it's a kind of enmity which is forgetful of everything and so seeks to destroy everything. So, oblivious enmity which destroys everything. Once you forget the thing, it means the thing has been destroyed. So, it is forgetfulness. Pace forth means go ahead or stride forwards, we can say. Posterity means generations, future generations. And doom. Doom, here we have the reference to the doomsday. That is the day of the judgment. That is the belief in Christian religion. And that's why they bury the dead people. That one day or on the day of judgment, when all the dead people will come out from their graves and the Christ will appear and he will decide the judgment. He will decide their works they have done in their life, and according to them, he will give the judgment. So, this is the reference to that doomsday. So, in these lines, the poet says that against death and all oblivious enmity, this poetry surpasses even the death, even all kind of the forgetfulness, because this poetry is immortal. Even after the death, even after the death and in the face of all enemies, the brave man, that is the young soldier who is mentioned in the poetry, shall remain alive throughout or through this poem. So, through this poem, this soldier will be remembered forever. Even death and oblivious enmity would not be able to kill him. That is, he will not be forgot. He will not be forgotten. And death will not be able to kill him. But he will be immortal through these lines and will be remembered. Shall you pace forth? So, in this way, you shall pace forth. You will be remembered ahead, generation after generation. Stride forward. Your praise shall still find room, and you will be appreciated even then. Even then, because of these lines. Death will not cover up you. Death and oblivious enmity will not able to destroy. So, in next lines, in even in the eyes of all posterity that wear this world out to the ending doom. So you will also be remembered, you will also remain forever in the eyes of all future generations. So, forthcoming generations, all the generations that will be born on this earth till the end of this doomsday, till the end of this earth world, they will read this poem. They will read the poetry, and then they will praise the poet's beloved. And in this way, his beloved, his friend will be remembered. And if remembered even after generations, it means he is immortal. अमर हो जाएगा. लोग याद करेंगे. जनरेशन आफ्टर जनरेशन हम याद करते हैं, इसका मतलब अमर है. महात्मा गांधी इज इमॉर्टल because we remember him even today. Ramchandra is an immortal figure because even after 1,000 years we remember him. We worship him. Lord Krishna, we worship him. There are so many great personalities that came in the history of our country as well, that took birth on this earth, and they are known for their works. So they are called immortal. अर्थात हम उनको अमर कहते हैं. So here the poet also immortalizing his friend, who is a soldier, through his poetry. And poetry and poems never dies. Wars, deaths, time does not affect the poetry. This is how the poet himself is trying to immortalize his own poetry. Okay? Now we have another remaining two lines of this poem, which is called a couplet. Let's go with it. So, till the judgment, that yourself arise, you live in this and dwell in lovers' eyes. So we have here the reference to the doomsday. So I have explained to you what is the doomsday. This is the last day upon this earth when the Christ will appear and all the dead people will come out from their graves for the judgment. So here the poet says, "O my dear friend, O my dear soldier, when you also arise from the graves on the last day, you will find that you are still in this poetry, in these lines. You are still appreciated by the people, by the generation, by the readers, by the lovers. So you are appreciated in their eyes. It means you are immortal. So you will yourself realize, yourself feel that you are immortal. You are still appreciated and remembered by your beloveds. So, this is what we have the explanation of these two lines. That is, we have the reference of the judgment day that I have explained to you. So, everyone who reads the poem will praise the brave man, brave soldier, the friend of William Shakespeare, and in this way, he shall live in the eyes of his beloved because they will appreciate him. So, this is what we have the explanation of this poem, these lines. As I told you, I have also explained in our previous lecture that this is a sonnet. There are 14 lines, 3 quatrains, 1 couplet, rhyme scheme. I have already explained to you. Now, let us see something more in this poem. And you must also analyze the poem, any poem that you come across in your study or in your future. You have to also analyze the poem through literary devices. That is the literary terms that you find in these lines. Since it's a very beautiful sonnet, beautiful poem, we have more than one literary devices have been used by the poet. So, number one is that is the allusion. Allusion, when you refer something, when you refer to one thing to another. So, here we have the allusion of Mars. मार्स कौन है? द गॉड ऑफ वॉर. सो वी हैव हियर उसका एक तरह से उद्धरण रेफरेंस जो है कि हमारे पास में इस पोएम में मार्स का है. ओके, वी हैव ऑल्सो द allusion ऑफ judgment. Judgment means the day of judgment. So we have the reference of those things, those historical facts in the poem. So allusion is there. That we have alliteration. Alliteration means when we have the repetition of the sound, that is called alliteration. Just like when, wasteful, war. So here we have the repetition of the w sound. Which sound? W sound. War, when, way. Okay? So shall shine. Here we have the repetition of the se sound. Shall, shine, sh sound. So this is called the alliteration. So by the next time when you go through any poem, any other poem, please try to note whether you find such alliterations in the lines. We have another literary device that is been used in this poem is personification. So personification means when an inanimate thing is made animate or personified or act like a human being, that is called personification. Now here time you know very well, time is not a man, not a person, but here the poet personified time. So he has mentioned time or used time as a human being, Time is dreadful, time is powerful, time can destroy. So, as if time is a human being. So, it is called as a person, personification. So, time has been called here, he has called time as a slut. So, slut in this way personified. In the same way, he has also personified when called living record. So, the poetry has also been personified. Living record. Living record as a noun, animate noun. Okay. Then we have another device, that is repetition. So here it is the repetition of the whole word, not of the sound, but whole word or the letters. Just like we have the repetition of shall and nor in this poem again and again. Shall has been used more than 4 or 5 times. So it is the repetition. Nor has also been used more than 4 times. And it creates a musical effect. When you repeat the word, when you repeat the sound, that creates musical effect in the poem. And then we have also another device, that is epithet. Epithet is an important device, literary device, which is a kind of an adjective. Adjective which relates to human being, but then it is added to inanimate. कोई व्यक्ति का गुण है, उसको हम निर्जीव वस्तु से जोड़ देते हैं, तो उसको हम जो है कि एपिथेट कहते हैं. जैसे जैसे अपन कहेंगे वेरी वे. वेरी वे मीन्स टायर्ड वे. तो अब इसमें रास्ता तो टायर्ड नहीं हो सकता. वे कैन नॉट बी टायर्ड. द ह्यूमन बीइंग कैन बी टायर्ड. But such adjectives which are used for human being are connected with the inhuman things. That is called epithet. And we have also imagery here in this poem, that is of unswept stone besmeared with sluttish time. It creates a kind of imagery in our mind, a picture in our mind. That is, we can imagine the statues which become ruins with the passage of time. We can see that हाँ yes कि ऐसी कोई स्टेचू है, वो समय के साथ में टूट गई है, बिखर गई है, बेकार हो गई है, पढ़ी नहीं जा सकती, उस पर क्या लिखा हुआ है, खंडर हो गई है. So when wasteful war shall statues overturn and broils root out of the work of machinery. So it creates an image in the mind of the readers. In this way, you can analyze and read, understand the poem. I have also given some questions here that you can go with the PDF form of this PPT, and then you also try to understand those questions. The answers are also there. But for this video, this lecture, this is much, and thank you very much. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.